This one guy had emailed me about 2 months ago, and he basically told me he was diagnosed with cancer. And he was telling me that my videos were like keeping him motivated and positive, and he really loves Breckenridge and would love to own a vacation home one day. I don't know if it's ever going to be a possibility, but he's like, your videos bring me joy every week, and ever since I was diagnosed with cancer, like those videos keep me going. And I'm like, man, like it's even more beyond just like the value and just selling homes and making money. It's like I'm actually bringing real joy and value into people's lives. So for anybody who's like thinking that like I can't bring value or joy to anybody with these videos, you certainly can.
Gotta be the coolest name ever for a real estate agent from the coolest city in Colorado.
Yeah.
So we'll jump right into it. First things first, let's talk about the market down by you guys. Down, and I say down because I'm in the north, up by Fort Collins. How's the market? How are we right now down there by you?
Yeah, man, it's funny. It's like always seems to be a seller's market here in Breckenridge. We're kind of in this bubble that's kind of separated from the rest of the macroeconomics of the regular world. And people with money, even in downturns, continue to make money, and they'll just hold on to their investments long term. So you almost never see anybody sell at a significant discount. So real estate here is up 11% year over year, and it's always a seller's market. The average days on market right now in Breck is 60 days. Meanwhile, the median days on market is about 30 days. And the reason I like to note that discrepancy is because we get a lot of outliers where you're starting to see homes in Breck sell for 10 million plus. So that'll increase our average days on market, but the median days really truly is about 30 days. So if a property comes on that's updated, fully furnished, ready to go, turnkey, it sells super quick all day, every day.
You're in a different world down there, man.
It's
that is different. Not like the rest of the state.
Yeah, it's like I said, we're in a bubble here. It doesn't feel like I'm connected to the rest of the world.
Do you get most of your buyers from out of state or in state, or where do most of the people that want to come to Breckenridge, are they locals in the state, or are they from out of state?
It's about 40 to 45% of our buyers are coming from the Front Range, and the rest of them are coming from out of state. So our biggest out of state markets are Texas, Florida, California, and then a mix of Missouri, Kansas, New York, Illinois, Chicago specifically. So that's kind of what our demographic looks like.
It's always Texas. It's always
Texas, man.
And Chicago too. Chicago is everywhere.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. We were driving around yesterday after a day of skiing, and we were just watching the Texans drive around with snow piled like 7-8 inches high on the top of their car with no regard for humanity at all. Like, just take a little bit of time and take the snow off your car. But you
get a chuckle out of people from warm weather climates who they have a perception of what Colorado's like, and Breckenridge, man, it's a dream for people. It's just this, people think they know what it's like, and then they come here, and you just get a kick out of seeing people when they first come here, and they're all excited, and you're like, all right, well, let's just talk, because there's some realities we got to go over.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I always like to cut them some slack, because I know when I'm a tourist in a different area, especially like if I travel internationally, I'm like a chicken with my head cut off. I have no idea what's going on. I'm that person that everybody's making fun of, for sure. So when people are here, I always tend to cut them some slack, maybe just slow down a little bit when they're driving, or be willing to help people when they just don't know where they're going, because you're in a place like Breckenridge where it's just so beautiful. The vistas are amazing. There's so many things to do. You're overwhelmed because you only have a week of vacation. So I'm willing to slow down and just like help them out if they need it.
So you'll work with all buyers. I mean, obviously you mentioned the higher end buyers, 10 million plus. Is there anything available for somebody who wants, give me the range of the buyer that you work with, high end and low end, just to give everybody a perspective. Because right now it sounds like everybody's priced out of the market in your area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that would be the case about 90 to 95% of the time.
Really?
It really is a luxury resort market up here in Breckenridge. That being said, I do work with people who are looking at $100,000 pieces of land over in Leadville, and also people who are looking for $15 million homes up in Breckenridge. So we have a pretty wide swath up in the mountain market. So it just depends on where you're looking at.
And you'll work with everybody, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm under contract on a deal right now for about a $250,000 condo up in Wilderness. Their HOA was kind of defunct for a little while, and their insurance policies went up. So the HOAs went from like $300-400 a month to like $1,000 a month. So most people were priced out. So I ended up finding this young guy who had his dad help him pay cash for the property. And you'll see that's pretty common. And I also closed a $4 million deal a few months ago. So pretty wide range of stuff.
That is insane. Yeah, I can't say that about every. That's really not how it is. We help people all over the country, and I will tell you that is a rarity that you have to switch hats pretty quickly between the investor, the young kid investor, dad helping out, and then the guy coming from Vail wants to buy another property. I mean, I'm sure you see it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just like having knowledge of a wide variety of different things, from like that first time home buyer who's just like working the 9 to 5, just looking to come up and ski, and then the seasoned investor who manages $150 million worth of assets, and just being able to have a wide range of knowledge to be able to talk with each of those demographics. I think that's kind of what helps me to relate to those people, even at the young age of 29.
Yeah. Living in Breckenridge, man, it's known for world-class skiing. I mean, being from the Midwest originally, my first out-of-state ski trip was to Breckenridge, and I was like, where are we, dude? This was like in the 90s. And it was amazing. Great. I mean, you could tell we were fish out of our pond. I mean, we were in heaven for a week. My question to you, though, is everybody knows Breck is world-class skiing, but when people who are thinking about making it their home, what is the best kept secret about Breckenridge that you would share to somebody?
Oh, man, it's so hard because there's like almost no secrets left in Breckenridge anymore. I feel like the cat's out of the bag on that one. But my thing is that everybody knows Breckenridge for the skiing. But as the saying goes here, you move here for the skiing and you stay for the summer. So to me, the summer is the best kept secret about Summit County. And I think it's hands down the best summer in the entire country. We get about 300 sunny days a year. So most days in the summer are sunny. It's a dry climate. It never gets above about 80, 85 degrees. So it lends itself to the perfect climate for all types of outdoor activities, from camping to hiking to biking. And you can do it pretty much all summer long. So I think the summer by far is the best kept secret about Breckenridge.
That's interesting. And that kind of plays into what property you're gonna buy. I think a lot of people have this vision of buying something right near the mountain, or maybe like a ski in, ski out. But looking at it that way.
That's so funny. I got to tell you, like, so many of my customers, they pigeonhole themselves into one neighborhood in Breckenridge, and they're like, I have to be here. And as the process kind of goes along, I've learned a lot now with my customers is that Breckenridge and Summit County as a whole is kind of one big town, one big community. So you might want something here in Breckenridge, and then you end up finding something over in Dillon that just fits your needs perfectly. And when you live here, you end up driving most places anyway. Like, you might have a couple places that you walk to, but if you're driving to your favorite hike or to your favorite ski resort, you end up driving 15 to 20 minutes or more a day anyway, just to go enjoy your adventures. So I say, like, to customers who are looking specifically in Breckenridge, don't be just, pigeonholing yourself specifically to Breckenridge. Look outwards and the bigger picture of Summit County, because we're all really one big community, and there's so many things to do all over the county. Not just Breckenridge.
It begs the question, when you help people, you obviously, Breckenridge is the big name, but how big is your circle of what you help buyers and sellers? Like, do you have a range that you work out of?
Yeah. So my specific range is Summit County, Park County, which includes Fairplay, Alma, Lake County, which includes Leadville, and then a little bit of Grand County, specifically Kremling. I don't do Winter Park or Grand Meet, but Kremling. So it's a pretty wide range of areas.
What else do you offer? I mean, there's got to be a lot of real estate agents in your area. What differentiates you? What separates you?
Yeah, I've been very blessed to live this life. Very grateful. But I think what separates me specifically is just like the new age marketing tactics that no other realtor in my market seems to be using. And it's not a knock on other realtors out here. They're seasoned pros. They've been doing it for 30 or 40 years. It's like the Pareto's principle, 80-20, like 20% of the agents are doing 80% of the business. It's more like 5% of the agents are doing 95% of the business out here. And those are just seasoned pros that have their database, and they don't really need to try all that hard. With me, though, I'm using YouTube and social media to kind of bring these homes to life in a way that other agents don't seem to really be utilizing. And it's proven itself in the last 2 years. I've generated about 2,300 subscribers and almost 500,000 views on my YouTube channel, which is
Awesome.
nothing crazy, but like for a mountain market, such a small little niche market like Summit County, nobody else is within even a couple thousand subscribers of me. So I think my YouTube.
When I Google search Breckenridge, you come up.
Right, exactly.
Nobody comes up. So if I'm from out of state and I want to get some facts, I'm calling you.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like what I've been seeing over the last few, I would say 2 months because it's been about 2 years since I've started the channel. And with YouTube, like, as you know, it's kind of an exponential growth curve. And I feel like I'm just starting to hit that exponential growth curve where it's starting to trend upwards. And in the last 2 weeks, I might have gotten like 10 or 12 leads from my YouTube channel. Where
10 or 12 leads from YouTube?
It's so crazy. Because before that, it was about maybe a lead a week, a lead every 2 weeks or something like that.
That is incredible.
Now, because of all the momentum that I've generated in this channel, like you said, you go on Google and now my videos are popping up on the top.
Well, not only are they popping up, but they're cool. They're not just a talking head video. They're really cool videos, man. And it's
like, use YouTube, use Instagram, like do these things because you will generate business. And people are just camera shy. They're not willing to get in front of the camera.
So true. But how old are you, Anthony?
29.
You're 29. If you are older than 40, the camera's weird. You grew up. You grew up with a camera. Your generation is really the heart of maybe even younger. But you're the generation of the camera.
Yeah.
It's easy for you. You know, especially with COVID, and you were young well, not young, but like you went through that, and we never even had video cameras till I was in my 30s.
Right.
So I can see why people struggle. But at the same time, I say the same thing as you, is like I talk to people and then they want help with videos and they say, well, I just hate myself on camera.
Yeah.
And I say, look, man, I got bad news for you, man. That's how you look.
Yes. That's what was able to because at first I was nervous. I didn't sound very good on camera. And then I came to that realization is like, well, this is how everybody else sees me. So if this is how everybody else sees me, why can't I just be comfortable with how I see myself? And that just like allowed me to propel forward.
And the real question is, how many reps do I have to do before I can quit thinking it's about me?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's not about me. It's about serving others and helping others and giving a message that can impact somebody else. In our case, we're helping people get the truth about Breckenridge.
Yeah.
We're helping people find an agent who's awesome, who knows what he's doing, who's killing it.
And that's my main goal. And even beyond that, just as like a fun little story, this one guy had emailed me about 2 months ago, and he basically told me he was diagnosed with cancer. And he was telling me that my videos were like keeping him motivated and positive. And he really loves Breckenridge and would love to own a vacation home one day. I don't know if it's ever going to be a possibility, but he's like, your videos bring me joy every week. And ever since I was diagnosed with cancer, like those videos keep me going. And I'm like, man, like it's even more beyond just like the value and just selling homes and making money. It's like, I'm actually bringing real joy and value into people's lives. So for anybody who's like thinking that like, I can't bring value or joy to anybody with these videos, you certainly can.
That's beautiful. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That should make you want to film a lot more.
Oh my gosh, man. I'm like, now I can't stop. I have to keep going.
Real estate in a ski town is crazy. And do you find that people want to live closer to the hill, to the ski areas, or a little further out? Or like, how do you start that search with somebody looking to get involved who doesn't know anything about how a ski town works?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it really depends on the demographic. I find like folks who are coming from a city like Denver or Dallas or I don't know, if they like that city lifestyle, they tend to want to be closer to downtown Breckenridge because they like the hubbub, they like the noise, they like being able to walk to their favorite restaurant, walk to the chairlift. But maybe sometimes I get somebody who lives in the outskirts of the Front Range or lives like somewhere in, nowhere, Texas, and they want that house that's kind of just secluded from everything with a little bit of land. Or you get those people that are big golf enthusiasts and they want to be on the golf course. Or those that just like the views of the golf course. They don't even golf necessarily, but they just like the manicured lawns and the open space. So it just all depends on the demographic.
That's a good point. Makes me wonder, like, you set expectations pretty good with people. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you have to, right? Because
Yes.
like the nightlife. I was talking to another guy in another ski town, and we talked about how some of these towns shut down early. And you know, if you're from a bigger city and the grocery store shuts down early or everything closes, it's kind of a weird feeling. But I don't think that's really how Breck is.
Yeah, it's funny. It's we visit a lot of other mountain towns as staycations, and we find that to be very true. Is that like once 9 o'clock comes around, most of the restaurants are shut down. There's no nightlife. Breckenridge, total opposite. Like Breckenridge at 10, 11 o'clock, there is like 4 or 5 different bars that they have like club DJs and like different live music things. Like Breckenridge stays alive until 2 o'clock in the morning every Friday, Saturday for sure. And most throughout the week, like you can find some kind of live music or somewhere to hang out. The Opry ski in Breckenridge definitely sets it apart from the other mountain communities.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. You are a Breckenridge guy, born and raised, I'm thinking.
No.
Oh, you're not? Where are you?
No,
Okay.
no. Maybe some people can tell from the way I talk, but I'm actually from New York originally, about an hour northwest of New York City. So my parents both grew up in the city, and then they moved upstate into the small little town of about 3,000 people. So I grew up on a lake with an 18,000 acre forest in my backyard, but I could hike up to the
New York.
In New York, yep. And then
Awesome.
I could hike up to the tallest hill and see the city skyline. So I could visit the city. Kind of had the best of both worlds. I had my privacy and my peace and quiet, but if I wanted to go to the city for a day, super easy.
So when did you move to Breck?
So moved to Breck about 8 years ago now, which is so crazy to say. My wife was taking a road trip with her best friend across the country and happened upon Breckenridge. And she basically said that if we ever decide that we're done with New York, I know exactly where we're moving to.
And no regrets.
Oh gosh, man, this is
You love
like,
it?
oh yeah. The thing about New York is like just that fast-paced lifestyle. It's all about work, hustle, chasing another dollar. Coming out here, it was quite an adjustment at first, but man, like people really prioritize enjoyment of life, getting outside, being active, recreation. It's like, it's just as important as making the money.
So, hey, Anthony, thank you so much for joining me today, man. You're a class act, quality work, and I'll be in touch.
Cool.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you so much, Tim. That was a lot of fun.
All right, man.